Welcome to Cap Builder Talk on the Radio for Divas Network with your host, Mark E. Parham. Real talk with real people talking about real issues facing small business today. Every day from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. To be a guest or more information, go to capbuildertalk.com, post comments on facebook.com, and Cap Builder Network. Enjoy the show. Welcome to another episode of Cap Builder Talk. Real talk with real people talking about real issues facing small business today. In this episode, we're going to discuss my 6-point strategy to developing small businesses to change our economic situation. We're going to go over Cap Builder marketing, products and services offered by the Cap Builder Network to help you start and grow your business. Cap Builder News, informative information and articles that I think you need to hear to make an educated decision in this world of entrepreneurship today. And on this episode, we're going to discuss shifting your mindset and shifting your income. Joining me in this episode, you'll hear an interview with Brian Beane, mentor to millions, speaker, trainer. Brian has over 15 years experience helping people build businesses, endurance, confidence, professional habits, and the other attributes required to be successful in business today. We're going to be discussing shifting your mindset and shifting your income. Some of the topics are going to be, why are most Americans struggling in the wealthiest country in the world? Why didn't we learn entrepreneurship in college? Building endurance in life and business, and a twist of goal setting. We're going to discuss this and more on Cap Builder Talk. This is Mark Parham, your host, Cap Builder Talk, real talk with real people, talking about real issues facing small business today. I'll be back in a moment. This is Mark Parham, and I'm back, Cap Builder Talk. Real talk with real people talking about real issues facing small business today. I'm going to talk about my six strategies or 6 ideas that I have on changing the face of small business to help change the face of the economics of small business is key. The other thing I think is important is that you learn how to keep your tax dollars in your community. Every time you cross the county lines, you're giving away tax dollars. Every time you bring someone in to provide service or products to you from outside the county or where you live, you're giving away your tax dollars. You need to create a community directory. You know, a friend of mine, Joseph Hudson, wrote a book called The 5% Solution. That means try in your community, spend 5% more each month on local businesses. The next thing is that you have to invest in yourself. There's a lot of help available. It's not all of it's free, but you must invest. You know, I do a lot of workshops and things like that, and I found that sometimes people complain, oh, I got to pay for parking, $10, $15. But I'll see sometimes these same people in a store buying $20 scratch-off tickets. We have to do better. You have to figure out how to spend your money so it's more effective for you learning how to understand this entrepreneurship. It's not all free, but you're going to need to make a commitment to learning how to start a business. Now, my mission and commitment to you is I'm going to help you do this. I'm going to help you start and grow your business. I'm going to provide training. I do coaching one-on-one or group coaching. I do it online. I use Google Hangouts, Skype, all kind, any source. So it doesn't matter if you're here with me or far away, I can help you do it. I've created a website called the Cap Builder Network where I have a lot of tools and information, assessments, podcasts. Go to www.capbuildernetwork.com and check it out. Join it. And if you join it, you'll be on my email list every time I'm doing an event or providing information, you'll get it. You can also check me out on Facebook, facebook.com/Cap Builder Network. Go to my page, like it, and friend me. LinkedIn, just look for Mark Parham. I do this radio show so that you can have the information that you need. You know, I'm going to provide you a lot of stuff coming up in the future. And I even have some products out right now on Groupon. It's a 5-video series that you can take that only is the videos and exercise to help you start and grow your business. $29. You can't beat it. And the last thing I want to tell you is, yes, you can do this. It's been done before by people that didn't have as much education as we have. They had more dedication than education. They wanted to take care of their families. And we can do this if we all work together. So I want you to take these 6 principles. I have more, but I want to start with these 6 so that you understand that you can develop your idea and start a business today. This is Mark Parham, Cat Builder Talk. Real talk with real people talking about real issues facing small business today. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'm back. Mark Parham, Cat Builder Talk. Real talk with real people talking about real issues facing small business today. This segment, we're going to talk about cat builder marketing, some of the products and services that I'm offering you to help you start and grow your business. I mentioned before that I have on Groupon right now, if you go out and put in business plan, you'll come back with a $29 offer from the Cat Builder Network on a 5-video series to help you start and grow your business. 5 videos that get you right through. Short videos, 10 to 15 minutes, with exercises that do not take a long time to take, but they will help you get the questions answered. Get those things out of your head and on the paper so you can start working on your plan for your business. I'm also starting to offer 2 group coaching packages. I do a lot of one-on-one coaching. If you're interested in that, you can contact me. But now I'm going to do group coaching, but I'm going to do it online using Google Hangouts. You're going to get 1 session per week. Morning, afternoon, and evening. You'll be able to listen to these sessions later on. I'm only going to have, maybe 6 to 10 people in a group, kind of a mastermind group, 45 minutes to an hour. We're going to go over different aspects of starting a business and different aspects of growing a business. So if you're interested in that, go to catbuildernetwork.com, click on the bottom right-hand corner. You'll see have questions. When it comes up, you can send a message to me, or you can request a free 30-minute coaching session. So these are 2 products and 2 things that I want to offer you. Please check them out so I can help you start and grow your business. Once again, you're listening to Mark Parham, Cat Builder Talk. Real talk with real people, talking about real issues facing small business today. I'll be back in a moment to help you start and grow your business. This is Mark Parham. I'm back. Cat Builder Talk, real talk with real people, talking about real issues facing small business today. I'm going to go over a few articles I found that I think are interesting that you should know about. One of them from Bloomberg Business Week is how windfall earnings can spoil your Obamacare subsidy. A lot of you don't realize it, but your Obamacare, the subsidy is tied to the IRS tax code. So this question came in, someone expected to make, when they file their papers, $45,000 in self-employment income for their family of 4. They will qualify for substantial government subsidies through the Affordable Care Act exchange. Their question is, what happens if their actual earnings, yes, they expected until December 31st, when they realize they got some kind of windfall gain. Maybe they sold a house, or they sold a company, or they got more money than they anticipated on getting, and it raised their adjustable gross income to maybe $100,000. Would they have to repay all the government premium subsidies they received throughout the year? The answer comes back and says, even though this is a hypothetical question, unexpected income changes and the impact on healthcare subsidies is a concern, particularly for the self-employed. But here's the rule. It doesn't matter when your income comes in, whether it's January or December. The advanced premium tax credits are based on modified adjusted income for the year as a whole. So if your income changes substantially during the year, either up or down, you should notify the exchange you're participating in immediately and ask for an adjustment. That way you'll avoid a nasty surprise come tax time. So those of you that are self-employed, make sure you keep track of how much money you're making and how close it is to what you estimated when you filed for the Obamacare subsidy. The next article I found very important. Who needs banks? PayPal and Lending Club want to make small business loans. And this is interesting because in the wake of starting a lot of businesses, there are a lot of organizations that are figuring out ways to fund small businesses, and these two organizations think they have it. Lending Club and PayPal are now betting that high-tech approach and also bringing borrowing costs down for Main Street businesses that don't qualify for bank loans is the way to go. Lending Club, who's coming up soon, heading for an initial public offering later this year, launched a business lending program. And PayPal today said it would expand a program that has already provided tens of $millions in working capital to businesses that have used PayPal in the last 6 months. With Lending Club, small business owners can apply for loans online ranging from 1 to 5 years with interest rates from 5.9 to, yes, a whopping 29.9%. But the CEO said it's really going to be about 12.5. PayPal is offering a more sophisticated product, specialized. In September, the company launched a pilot program to offer merchants that use its online payments working capital loans to a Utah bank. Merchants can borrow as much as 8% of their total annual sales on PayPal to be repaid in daily installments until the businesses have repaid the principal, plus a fixed loan fee. An example is a merchant with $100,000 in annual sales borrows $8,000. PayPal collects 15% of the borrower's daily PayPal sales until they have paid back the $8,000, plus interest of about $594, which is about 7% of the principal. This is just another way that PayPal and some of these other organizations are really trying to help you get into business. So when you're looking for money, look for everything. Look at all options. Sometimes you have to layer it. But these two options are just another example that things are happening to help you start your business if you just pay attention and stay educated so you can make educated decisions. One of the things I like to end this news segment is I read an article about 100 questions that entrepreneurs should ask themselves. And I'm going to ask you 3. How can we become more high-tech but still be high-touch? It's a very important question right now with the advent of social media and websites and robocalling and things like this. We've lost our personal touch to being in business. So I want you to understand that when you create your social media strategy, you also have to keep your strategy engaged about actually calling your customers, keeping that personal touch, particularly small businesses, because that's your competitive edge. That's what people are missing when they go to the big stores. There's no personalization. My next question is, who are you going to put out of business and why? Let's look at your competition. Try to figure out who they are. See if you can put them out of business. It's something you're going to have to look at what they're doing and what you're doing and see if you can work on taking all their customers so that you can be the business that you really want to be. And in looking at that, you have to understand, are your clients Pepsi or Coke drinkers? They're both drinking soda, but they have different flavors. If you're selling Coke, you got to figure out people that want to buy Coke. And then your next goal is to figure out how to get those Pepsi drinkers converted over to Coke. So these are 3 questions I want you to ask yourself as you're thinking about growing your business. So you're listening to Mark Parham, Cat Builder Talk, real talk with real people talking about real issues facing small business today. I'll be back in a moment. This is Mark Parham, and I'm back. Cat Builder Talk, real talk with real people talking about real issues facing small business today. You can find copies of my radio shows at catbuildertalk.com. You can go to my website, catbuildernetwork.com, to get access to all the tools and information you're going to need to start and grow your business. Now, tonight's show is about changing your mindset, changing your income. But it's really about getting into the entrepreneurial mindset. And it's very important to realize there's certain things that can get you into the right mindset of being an entrepreneur. And I'm going to go over a few of these things. And then later on in this show, there's an interview with Brian Beane, who's an outstanding young man who is working on changing your mindset about entrepreneurship and generating wealth. But before I take you there, we're just going to talk a little bit about changing your mindset. The first step in that mindset change is learning about opportunity recognition. A lot of people don't understand how entrepreneurs work, but one of the first things you have to do is recognize when opportunity is in front of you. We try to understand that more is expected of you as an entrepreneur. You're innovators. You're going to develop ideas that are worthy of customer and capital investment. You're going to develop ideas that are going to help change the lives of other people. But the question becomes, whether or not it's a good investment when you have that aha moment. Are you inspired to the on-ramp of entrepreneurship? And you can learn how to do it. You can learn how, when you have an idea, what to do. First thing, you got to go out and explore. You got to start exploring your idea. Get on Google it, see how many people are talking about it. You have to develop habits that when you come up with an idea, a strategy for developing. On my website, I have a tool called the Business Idea Creator, and it allows you to ask the 5 or 6 questions that are most important to developing your idea. You got to ask questions. You go to people and potential customers, and how do you like this? If I created a product that did this, ask people what they think about your idea. But you have to get your mind right about when you are researching it. So I want you to recognize opportunity as being the first stage of being an entrepreneur. The next thing I want you to understand is you got to cultivate your mindset to be successful. One of the things that happens, we don't want to fail, but you need to anticipate it. Not everything you're going to do is going to be successful. So you have to learn from your mistakes. That's how we succeed. Any entrepreneur who makes it on their very first days, it's a rare story. The path is not straight. It's full of potholes and detours. No matter how hard you plan, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make more than one mistake. So if you're fixed on the idea that you're going to give up after your first try, this may not be the thing for you. The next thing that entrepreneurs have to do is sometimes let go and delegate. You may not be able to do everything well. So you're going to have to find people that can do certain things for you. But it's hard sometimes to let go because you want to stay in control of your business. But what I want you to do is learn how to delegate and let it go. Another big thing is staying curious and learning new skills. I want you to, if you don't know how to do something, learn new skills. If you're not a good social media person, take a class. Learn how to do it. It doesn't matter what kind of business you're in. You can take a class. I don't care if you have a landscape business, plumbing. Take a class on social media. Even if you're going to have someone else do it, by taking a class, you'll have a better understanding of what happens when it's time to hire someone to do it for you. Follow your instincts. This is very, very, very important. We know it sometimes in our gut, the right decisions that we need to make in order to grow our business. You need to start following your gut. But if your gut is educated properly by taking classes and workshops and reading and studying, it'll learn how to recognize when you're walking down the wrong path. So you need to follow your instincts. And the final thing I want to talk about and get your mindset straight before I add this interview to our conversation is you find growth by changing your mindset. Right now, there's no such thing as traditional marketing. It used to be a flat way that you did it. But now with the advent of technology, you got to change your mindset about marketing. Using technology, but still having a personal touch. You're going to have to get out there and market your business. You're going to have to learn how to sell your brand. You're going to have to create a unique selling position, a selling proposition, proposition, things about your product and service that are going to make people want to come buy from you. You're going to create this elevator pitch that when you say it in front of an audience, when you get through, people want to come up to you because they want to know more. So it's very important that you sell your brand. But you have to stay educated. You have to figure out in your industry what are the things that are working, what are the things that are not working. But you're going to have to take the time to learn more about your industry and about your business. So I want you to pay attention to the news. Pay attention to how people are branding themselves. Some of us watch Shark Tank to learn how to do it, but I want you to learn as well. So you got to change your mindset in order to change your income. So when I come back, I'm going to bring an interview and add it to our conversation that I had with Brian Beane last week. And I want you to listen to what this young man has to say about helping you change your mindset in order to grow your business and to change your income and to change your wealth. Get out your pencil and paper, take some notes, because it's going to be an exciting conversation. You're listening to Mark Parham, Cap Builder Talk. Real talk with real people, talking about real issues facing small business today. I want to help you start and grow your business. Stay with me. Okay, this is Mark Parham. I'm back. And in a minute, I'm going to bring on Mr. Brian Beane. But before I do that, I'd like to set the stage for what we're going to talk about this evening. And one of the most important aspects of being an entrepreneur is getting your mind right, and we call that mindset. So I'm going to go over just a few things that I ran across or things that I work with and I try to impart to the people that I deal with. But the first step in getting your mindset right, and as an entrepreneur, and this is something that's very special for entrepreneurs, is recognizing opportunity. Or you can say opportunity recognition. A lot of times we see things that look like good ideas, but a good entrepreneur not only recognizes it, they can see it for what it really might be and take it to another level, but that's the first step. But if you're an entrepreneur, more is expected of you than just recognizing it. You're going to learn how to evaluate that opportunity because you're an innovator. You're going to try to come up with ideas that are worthy of consumer and capital investment. You're going to try to get out there and explore that idea and bring it. If it's the right idea, you're going to write a plan for it and try to bring it to life. But the big thing about that is asking questions. So getting your mind right is very, very important. But the other aspect of mindset is you'll find very few entrepreneurs that started out their first business and were successful. So it's important that you learn how to anticipate failure, but anticipate it as a learning lesson, okay? So that you're going to have issues. You're going to have moments where things are going to go right, but learn from those moments. Some of us need to let go and delegate. We're just doing too much. We got to let our minds go. But I think it's important that you stay curious and learn new skills. As new opportunities come up in front of you, opportunities for you to learn, you do it. But the basic thing, I think, so all of us know in our gut, you need to follow your instincts. And the final thing I want to talk about before we bring Mr. Beane on is just about 5 or 6 things that I want you to keep in mind in having the right mindset. You're going to have to clearly define what it is you want to do, all right? Not just, I think I want to do this and kind of, you got to define it. You have to protect and manage your time, because time is one of the most critical things that we have, and you can't waste it. Okay, you need to become outcome-oriented. Make sure everything that you do has the intended outcome. You're not just doing it to see what happens. You're doing it to make a certain thing happen. You're going to deal with actual facts. Not, a lot of times we live in a dream world, but you need to learn how to use the facts. And the final thing I do want to, is success by association. You hear the expression, be careful who you hang out with. It's even more important in the world of entrepreneurship, because if you hang out or you associate with the wrong people, they can cloud your vision, they can cloud your judgment, and you find that you don't make the right decisions. But with all that said, I'm going to bring a man to the mic and to my show that's going to help us understand how to shift our mindset to shift our income. So I want to welcome to the show the Mr. Brian Beane. How you doing this evening?
Can you hear me okay, man?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, man.
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. You're making me laugh with the B part, but it's all good.
Well, I have to. After watching all your videos, man, I had to make sure who you are, because you do so many different things in your videos. It was very impressive. But, Brian, I tell you what, before you get started, if we're talking about the mindset shift, everybody that comes on the show, I like them to spend at least, when you go to a meeting, you do your elevator pitch or your 30-second, whatever you want to call it. I like you to do that for the audience before we get started, so they know who Brian Beane is. So you have the floor.
Absolutely. It may not even take 30 seconds. Well, I appreciate being on your show first and foremost. My name is Brian Beane, and my concept or my attitude or my philosophy, I should say, is real simple. After retiring at the age of 22, I travel the world. I travel the country and the world showing people how to shift their mindset first and shift their income second. So I'm the creator of a program called PAISE, and PAISE stands for People, Activity, and Yourself. So a lot of people always ask me, how did you retire at 22? What did you do? And I didn't realize it, but I basically mastered 3 things. I mastered networking and interacting with people, learning different personalities so you can understand how people operate and how to move people to action without touching them. Then you take the proper actions to create the proper activities. And long story short, I worked on myself, which is the YS, yourself, harder than I did anything else. So that's what PAISE stands for. That's my story, Mr. Parham, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. That's good. So I guess we're going to start out. Yeah, I like the fact that, I've spent some time traveling around the world as well, and you do see a different view of the United States or America when you travel outside. And when you come back, you wonder why people, they should not be struggling here the way they are compared to what we see in these other countries. But we have that here as a topic. So let's talk about, we're in the wealthiest country in the world. And what is the reason you think a lot of people are struggling here?
Well, the reason a lot of people struggle is because they don't understand the system that they're actually in. I think a lot of people, they don't understand capitalism. They don't even know what capitalism really means. They don't understand that the people who do understand capitalism capitalize off the people who don't understand capitalism, and then they wonder why they can't get where they want to get. Well, it's because if the capitalist taught you how capitalism works, they can no longer capitalize on you. So what it boils down to is most people in America struggle because they don't understand that this is supposed to be the land of opportunity. This is not supposed to be the land where somebody, gives you something or somebody owes you something. This is the land where you can come really with nothing. And I'm glad you set it up that way with the, being abroad and those kind of things. People come over here with nothing and end up opening businesses. You hear people all the time. I came over with my name, my shirt, and $200 in my pocket, and now they have a restaurant or they're a millionaire. Well, Americans live here and don't have that same perspective because when we're born in America, if you're not taught properly from day one how capitalism works, they'll keep capitalizing off of you. So you have to sometimes get out of the country to appreciate what you really have. So it's a little combination of being spoiled and being lazy, to be honest.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting, too, because sometimes in a lot of my workshops I put a fact up on the board that shows a lot of immigrants come here to America and start businesses. So I asked the audience or my class why, and they say, well, because they don't have any credit issues. And I go, no, that's not it. They come here and do what they do because they don't know they can't. Okay?
Exactly.
They have not been conditioned to just follow all the rules that have been put in front of us. And they come over here a lot of times in families all working together. I've done a lot of business plans for foreign people that, a whole family goes in and buys a Subway sandwich shop. Okay. I'm talking about everybody's working, the 6-year-old, 11-year-old, and if you go to the place long enough, that 6-year-old will eventually be running the cash register.
Absolutely.
So it's a different opinion or a different view that they have when you talk to them. I'm also very fortunate that through the International Visitors Bureau here, I get an opportunity to speak to a lot of people. Like last week, I spoke to a group from India, and they just look at the United States and they just don't understand why we are having any kind of problems at all. So you use the word capitalism. I don't want to, we could take that one word, probably have a whole long conversation about it. But what are maybe 2 or 3 topics that when you say the word capitalism, what aren't we getting? What do most of the population, what do they understand about capitalism that's kind of holding them back?
Absolutely. Well, let's look at the word, right? The word has ambiguity in it, number one, so I'm going to give you maybe two different meanings. But The bottom line is capital is the root word of capitalism. So what that means is, and I hate to say it, but it's true. I don't want to sound shrewd or harsh, but the person with, the golden rule states that the person with the gold makes the rules. So
that's right.
When you understand capitalism, you have to have some capital in order to participate. You have to ask yourself every day, am I on somebody else's balance sheet as a liability, and if so, how much? Or do I have people on my balance sheet as an asset, and if so, how much? That means you're providing a quality product or service and creating capital. Now here's what most people will say, Mark. Well, I don't have any capital. Yes, you do. See, here's the trick. You do have capital. It's just that someone else is capitalizing more of your capital than you have. You see? So you have to learn the strategies and the techniques and the how to do what's called income shifting, which you and I will talk about, I'm sure, in a second. But you have to learn the strategies and techniques that allow you to thrive in capitalism. The second part of the capitalism, other than the monetary part, is the fact that people are capitalizing on your lack of knowledge. So write this down if you're taking notes and you're listening. Education is not expensive. Ignorance is. You see, education is not expensive. Ignorance is. So, Mark, I wouldn't have lost my first $1 million in my 20s had I known what I know now. Now, I know why God put me through that because I can now speak from a position of power and passion and be serious when I get on stage and talk to people about how $1 million really is nothing if you don't know what to do with it. So because I didn't know how to make $1 million become $5 million when I was only in my 20s, I got capitalized on. You know what I mean? By who? By the IRS.
Hold it. Stop talking. I'm going to have to get some tissues here in a second, brother.
Exactly. By big business.
I went through the same experience.
Yeah, I'm serious, man. So now that I know these things, I can really speak from experience and tell people that there's 2 forms of capital, or it's 2 basically directions I want to take you in when it comes to capitalism. 1, create some capital, and we can talk about that. And 2, stop getting capitalized on by those who are using your capital better than you.
Yeah, And you're so correct. In my first business, I did the same thing. I generated a tremendous amount of revenue, but didn't really understand what I had gotten myself into. And then I started boxing with the IRS, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a fight you do not win, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And but I learned a lot, and that's why I decided to do what I'm doing now, to do a lot of consulting to help other businesses. But one of the things you mentioned a second ago was about education, and I went all the way through high school. I was very fortunate that my parents put me in things like junior achievement, and my dad made us get jobs, and things like that. But the education about small business, I didn't learn it in college. I mean, and I'm finding out now a lot of universities are just starting to teach it. How does a person where we're at right now, how do they get this education?
Well, it's simple. Okay, first of all, understand why they're not providing it, right? So here's the reality. A lot of people don't realize this, but here's the reality. The majority, I won't say the majority, but a lot of funding for institutions, including private institutions, they don't want to admit this,
That's right.
but corporations are paying for the curriculum. So if I'm giving you a check every quarter, every month, every year, or whatever, a huge endowment, you better believe you're going to teach the curriculum I need you to teach. So if I'm big business, people don't realize this. Big business runs this country, okay? And if I'm big business and I'm stroking your college, private or public, state, whatever, a check, then I have the say-so in what happens. Again, capitalism, right? I'm capitalizing on the fact that I'm funding your school. So what that means is I need for you to kick out a product known as a student, known as a degree, who does not want to open up a business, but who wants to get a job. So two people win, actually three. Big business wins because they, from day one, funded the institution that's going to send them an educated product. The government wins because now we have more people paying taxes because the W-2 pays the highest percentage tax-wise, right? And then the banks win because you went and got in debt in order to get the education that keeps most people broke. So now the big three capitalize on the system that they put in place. And then, Mark, here's what they do. Once you get out of school, guess what they do? They whisper, you should open up a business, right? You see what I'm saying? See, think about it. They didn't scream it from the mountaintops, but after a while, now that you're in debt, you got credit cards, you got married, so he has a credit card, she has a credit card, both y'all went to college, now you got a car note, now you have a baby, you send that baby through the same cycle, and then one day you wake up and go, wait a minute, why do business owners get all the tax breaks? Why is it that I'm in debt and I got more debt than I have income? Why is it I'm putting my child through the exact same program? I'm not knocking education. I just want people to understand. You asked me where can they get this information from. We can't tell them where to get it from until first they realize they need it. Well, now that you know you need it, I can tell you straight up, listen to people who are where you want to be. My movement is called Extra Digit, right? ExtraDigitMovement.com. And we teach you the 4 things that keep you from succeeding financially. We teach you the 2 financial objectives that everybody in America should have and how to meet them. We teach you the 3 solutions that solve every financial problem you have. You're not going to get this education in schools because entrepreneurs aren't funding the school systems. Corporations are. They don't need business owners. They need employees. So they want to make sure you keep bringing them that.
Now tell me this, okay? We had a recession in 2008, and right now it's all about small business. Every article I read talks about it's going to take small business to rebuild the economy. So you think because of these articles there's now kind of maybe a shift in encouraging entrepreneurship versus discouraging it? Or because now, everything I read says that entrepreneurship and small business is the only thing that's going to bring the country back.
Yeah, so let's look at it. Here's why, okay? Let's look at it. They won't teach you this in school. So you think about it this way. Let's look at it historically. Why now all of a sudden this move to entrepreneurship? Well, everything has ebb and flow, right? Everything is cyclical. So back in the 30s and 40s, after the Great Depression, the only thing the country could do and the only thing the economy could do was get better. So corporations flourished, right, in the 50s and 60s and 70s. So our grandparents said, look, go get a job. If you get a good job at GM, you stay there for 30 years, they'll pay you for the rest of your life. So that was the advice of that era because we couldn't get any lower. Corporations sprung up. But before the corporation sprung up, Mark, remember you knew the baker. You knew your tailor.
Right.
Everybody was on Main Street. You remember? Every city has a Main Street. If you guys go to any city, there's a Main Street. And what do you see on Main Street? You see your pizza parlor. You see your tailor, right? You see your bread maker.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, they had the milkman. Well, that's because small business got the economy going. Corporations took it to the next level. The internet came out, and now a lot of jobs are being shipped overseas. So the corporations are now scaling back. So that the government won't have the unemployment line wrapped around the building, they have to go back to prior to the Great Depression where small business was the thing to do. So in other words, if you notice, propaganda demands that they give you the advice that they need to give you at that time. So when people start flourishing and businesses pick back up, you'll see another big shift towards taking it the other direction. You see what I'm saying? So the government just wants you out of their pocket.
Yeah, I do. So that means that the time is right now for people to, as you say, shift that mindset, to shift their income, because right now, if there was ever a time in the last 10 or 20 years to establish yourself as a small business, I would say now is the time. You heard earlier about they're making all kind of funds available now to help businesses get started. But that kind of falls into what you're talking about, is just creating the cycle again of getting everything started again so corporations can come back in. But this is an opportunity for us as, small business people to get our stake, to go ahead and plant our seed and generate a business or something that our families can grow with. I don't think there's going to be a time like this in the next 10 years, especially right now. I always talk about before that the next elections are coming. If there's ever a time for us to get it and get it good, it's like right now.
Think about it, Mark. Really think about this. About 10 or 12 years ago, when Congress passed those laws that extended the same benefits to the home-based business as it did the big franchisee and the big the big corporation, when Congress said, look, we're going to give you the same benefits, some of your square footage, some of your mileage, some of your light bill, some of your water bill, some of your cell phone bill, some of your internet. They whispered it. See, they didn't yell it, but people should have read between the lines. What they're saying is, look, go open up your business from home, and you can get the same tax breaks that a person has 15 McDonald's and 17 Burger King. You see, so if you follow that trend, you said it best, man. Now is the time, because the unemployment line will get longer if they don't do something about it and allow you to work from home. So if you look at it, they're telling you what to do. They just have a covert way of doing it.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, man, I want to get into your products and services and what you're bringing, but I do need to go to a break so that we can finish out the rest of the show, pay the bills and things like that. So you listen to Mark Parham. Capitalism. That's right. You listen to Mark Parham and Brian Beane tonight on Cat Builder Talk. This is Mark Parham. I'm back, wrapping up this episode of Cat Builder Talk. Real talk with real people, talking about real issues facing small business today. In this episode, we talked about my 6-point strategy to developing small businesses to change our economic situation. And the most important aspect about that strategy is that you get out there and do it, and you invest in yourself. Take some training. Online training, classroom training, videos. I have all this information on my website at capbuildernetwork.com. But get engaged. Because you're going to need to start your business in your community. You're going to want to offer personalized services so that you can start and grow your business. Under Cap Builder Marketing, I discussed the Groupon deal that I have right now. If you go to Groupon and type in business plans, you'll see my 5-video series deal, $29. It'll help you write your first plan. I went over a couple news items about the Affordable Health Care Act. Remember, if your income changes, notify your exchange. And we also talked about the fact that PayPal and Lending Tree are offering online loans for their constituents. So pay attention to that. And at last, we talked about mindset change. We had Brian Beane. Hope you enjoyed the interview. Outstanding young man. Check out his site, I am Brian Beane, because you're going to find out how to generate wealth by shifting your mindset to shift your income. I hope you enjoy this show. My name is Mark Parham. You can contact me at marcp@capbuildernetwork.com. You can go to my website, capbuildernetwork.com. If you want to schedule a free coaching session with me, click on the bottom right-hand corner, have questions. Send me a message or pick a time that looks at my schedule so we can talk about your idea and your business so that I can help you start and grow it. So thank you for listening. I appreciate your support. This is Mark Parham, Cap Builder Talk. See you on my next show. Thank you for joining us on the Cap Builder Talk radio show on the Radio for Divas Network with your host, Mark E. Parham. Real talk with real people talking about real issues facing small business today. We are here every day from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. To be a guest or for more information, capbuildertalk.com. Please post comments on Facebook.com/Cap Builder Network. We hope you enjoyed the show.